Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that you know. Sometimes a woman doesn't lose her value because she isn't beautiful enough, smart enough, or good enough. She loses it because she starts giving her power to the wrong man too early. She starts proving instead of being. She starts explaining instead of observing. And she starts chasing instead of choosing. And before she even realizes it, the same man who once admired her confidence now starts taking her for granted. The same energy that made him chase her becomes the same thing that makes him think he doesn't have to try anymore. It's not about looks. It's about energy. It's about how you carry yourself. It's about how you make him feel like he has to earn access to you. Because the truth is, when a woman forgets her worth, the world follows. When you stop valuing yourself, everyone else starts to do the same. So let's talk about the things that quietly kill your value in front of a man, not because you are less, but because you start giving too much of what should have been earned. The first thing that kills your value is over-availability. When you are always there, always answering, always adjusting, always saying yes, always showing up, he stops seeing you as a prize and starts seeing you as an option. Men are hunters by nature. They are wired to chase what they respect and respect what they have to work for. And if you remove the chase, you remove the respect. When you stop being a mystery, you stop being magnetic. When you stop having a life outside of him, you stop being the woman who inspired him in the first place. Because listen, if you make a man your whole world, he will make you his comfort zone, and comfort kills desire faster than anything else. You can love him, but you don't have to lose yourself. You can care, but you don't have to collapse. Stop teaching a man that your time is free. Stop showing him that your attention comes without boundaries. Stop proving that you will always wait, because the moment you stop respecting your own time, you give him permission to waste it. Being available all the time doesn't make you loyal. It makes you predictable, and predictable never excites a man. What excites him is a woman who knows her worth, who knows that her time is valuable, who knows that her energy is not on sale, a woman who can love him without losing herself. That's the kind of energy that makes a man show up differently. The second thing that kills your value is emotional oversharing. I'm talking about telling a man everything about your past too soon, your pain, your exes, your fears, your insecurities, your struggles. Now, there's nothing wrong with being open, but timing is everything. A man has to earn the right to know your depth. Not everyone deserves the map to your heart, because not everyone is ready to handle it. When you tell him everything too soon, he doesn't have to earn your trust. And if he doesn't earn it, he won't respect it. Mystery creates magnetism, privacy protects power, and boundaries build respect. It's not about playing games. It's about emotional intelligence. You can't hand someone your soul on the second date and then wonder why they don't value it. You've got to pace your vulnerability. Give a man the chance to discover you slowly, piece by piece, not all at once. That's what keeps connection alive. That's what keeps him curious. You have to let him wonder a little. You have to let him earn the right to know your softness, because once you give everything without effort, you take away his reason to stay consistent. Remember, not everything that's true needs to be told, and not every man deserves access to your unfiltered heart. Protect your story until you're sure he's ready to handle the whole book, because the moment you open up too fast, you give him power he didn't work for, and anything that's given too easily is rarely appreciated. The third thing that kills your value is trying to fix him, trying to be his healer, his therapist, his savior, trying to show him his potential while he's busy showing you his excuses. You can't build a man into the person he refuses to become. You can inspire growth, but you cannot force it. Love is not a project, and you are not a rehabilitation center for broken men, because when you try to fix him, you start lowering your standards in the name of compassion. You start excusing behavior that breaks your peace. You start making excuses for things that are actually disrespect. And in that process, you lose your power. You start teaching him that he can keep disappointing you, and you'll still stay. that he can keep neglecting your needs and you'll still try harder. And that is the death of your value in his eyes, because he stops seeing you as someone to rise up for and starts seeing you as someone who will tolerate less than she deserves. The moment you stop holding him accountable, you become easy to lose. Because when a man knows you'll forgive him no matter what, he stops being careful with your heart, he stops growing, he stops trying, and he starts settling. You can love someone deeply and still walk away when they stop respecting that love. That's strength, that's grace, that's power. The woman who doesn't try to fix a man is the woman who makes him fix himself, because she becomes the mirror that reflects what he could be, not the cushion that protects him from consequences. And that's how you earn his respect, by letting your boundaries teach him what your words no longer can. The fourth thing that kills your value is losing your feminine mystery. I'm talking about when you start competing, controlling, chasing, proving, when you start showing up in your masculine energy all the time, trying to control outcomes, trying to make things happen instead of letting them unfold. Men are not drawn to women who compete with them. They're drawn to women who complement them. A woman in her power doesn't have to shout it. She doesn't have to chase validation. She doesn't have to prove her worth. She radiates it through her peace, through her calm, through her confidence. She knows that softness is not weakness, it's strength under control. And that kind of energy drives a man wild, because it's rare, it's grounded, it's graceful. When you start chasing, you lose polarity. When you start controlling, you lose mystery. And when you lose mystery, you lose attraction. It's not about pretending to be someone else. It's about remembering who you are. A queen doesn't beg a throne to recognize her crown. She adjusts it and moves forward. So stop explaining why you're worthy. Stop trying to prove that you're loyal. Stop competing for his attention, because the woman who knows her worth never has to chase love. Love chases her. When you hold your boundaries with grace, when you carry your peace like power, when you smile knowing you don't have to be chosen to feel valuable, that's when you become unforgettable. Because value is not about how loud you demand it, it's about how quietly you embody it. And the truth is, most women don't lose their value because they stop being enough. They lose it because they start giving too much to the wrong man, too soon, too often, without realizing that what makes you special is not how much you give, but how wisely you give it. Love is not about proving, it's about preserving, it's about protecting your heart, your peace, your standards, your identity. And when you protect those things, you attract a man who respects them. When you stop chasing, you attract peace. When you stop proving, you attract presence. And when you stop lowering your worth to fit someone else's comfort, you start walking in your divine value, and that's when everything changes. That's when you become magnetic, not because you tried to be perfect, but because you chose to be peaceful, because peace is powerful, and a peaceful woman is always a priceless one. Sometimes you don't even realize how much you are giving until there's nothing left to give. You answer every call, you reply to every text. Within seconds, you rearrange your schedule, your sleep, your focus, your peace, just to make someone else feel prioritized. And slowly, without even noticing, you start teaching that person that your time, your energy, your attention are always available on demand, like a service, like an open door that never closes. And the truth is, what is always available soon becomes invisible. What's easily accessed loses its worth. And what never requires effort rarely earns respect. The more you chase, the more you text first, the more you initiate, the more you make excuses for his silence, the more you explain away his distance, the more you train him to believe that no matter how little he gives, you'll still be there smiling, waiting, forgiving, available. And that right there is how you lose your value in his eyes, not because you are less, not because you are unworthy, but because you've made him believe you'll always be there, no matter what he does. Men are wired to pursue, to earn, to value what they work for. And when something is given too easily, it becomes part of the background noise, like music that's been playing too long to be noticed anymore. When you stop being a challenge, you stop being cherished. And that's not about playing games. It's about preserving your energy, your mystery, your dignity. You see, mystery is not about hiding who you are. It's about revealing yourself slowly, intentionally, in layers that must be discovered, not demanded. When you're always available, you rob the relationship of the natural rhythm of longing, curiosity, and anticipation. You remove the space that makes the heart miss you, the silence that makes the mind wonder about you, the distance that makes presence feel special again. Every queen understands that her crown is not worn through attention, but through composure, through knowing when to show up and when to hold back, when to speak, and when to let silence speak louder. A woman who knows her value doesn't rush to prove it. She doesn't chase validation. She doesn't try to convince anyone that she's worth the effort. She simply stands in her truth, calm, radiant, grounded in her own worth. And that energy draws respect without asking for it, because real value doesn't scream, it whispers. It's not loud, it's not desperate. It's quietly undeniable. You have to remember that availability is not the same as connection. Just because you're always there doesn't mean he's truly connected to you. True connection grows when there's emotional depth, when time apart creates space for reflection, when your presence is something to look forward to, not something taken for granted, and when you stop being so readily available. You're not punishing him, you're protecting your peace. You're setting a standard. You're saying, I am not an option you can pick up when you're bored. I'm a blessing you recognize or lose. You're showing that your time is valuable, your attention is sacred, your energy is precious. And the moment you treat it that way, others will too. People crave what they can't easily have, they value what they have to earn, and they respect what stands firm in boundaries. Being available all the time creates comfort, but not commitment. It gives him security, but not excitement. The mystery, the tension, the spark, it all lives in the unknown, in the moments when he wonders where you are, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. When you always reveal everything, when you always show up instantly, you take away his need to wonder. And wonder is the birthplace of desire. Desire grows in distance. Attraction deepens in space. So when you hold back a little, when you allow him to miss you, when you allow silence to do the talking, that's when he begins to notice your absence. That's when he begins to appreciate your presence. That's when he realizes you're not like the rest. Too many women give too soon, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. They overinvest in potential. They build castles in the air hoping the man will rise to match the fantasy, but you cannot teach someone to value you while you're busy proving your worth. Your energy is your currency. Don't spend it on someone who hasn't earned access to it. You can be kind without being available, caring without being consumed, loving without losing yourself. Because real power is in balance. It's in knowing that you can love deeply but still walk away when your peace is disturbed. It's in knowing that your worth doesn't shrink because someone can't see it. It's in knowing that your time is valuable, your space is sacred, your silence is powerful. There's beauty in mystery because mystery invites curiosity and curiosity keeps love alive. When you're not always available, you create space for him to miss your laugh, to think about your words, to realize how his world feels quieter without your energy. And in that quiet, he'll start to value what he once overlooked. But when you're constantly present, when you fill every gap, when you never let absence exist, you make it impossible for appreciation to grow. The heart needs absence to recognize value, just as the eyes need darkness to see the stars. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate and how quickly you respond to neglect. When you don't give yourself fully to someone who gives you half, you're not being cold, you're being wise. Because wisdom knows that love isn't proven by presence. It's proven by respect. It's not about how much you give, but how much you protect. Protect your energy from those who drain it. Protect your time from those who waste it. Protect your peace from those who confuse attention with intention. You owe no one constant access to you. You are allowed to be unavailable. You are allowed to take your time. to recharge, to be quiet, to focus on yourself. That's not neglect, that's self-respect. You see, availability is addictive, but distance is magnetic. When you start valuing your space, you draw people who value it too. You attract those who move with purpose, not those who play with your time. You attract those who understand that communication is a privilege, not an entitlement. And that's the kind of connection that builds loyalty because it's rooted in mutual respect, not constant reassurance. When you stop being available for every call, you'll see who truly wants to talk. When you stop replying to every text immediately, you'll see who truly values the conversation. When you stop saying yes to everything, you'll see who's willing to meet you halfway. Don't let loneliness make you available for what doesn't honor you. Don't let boredom convince you to reopen doors that peace already closed. Sometimes silence is your loudest answer. Sometimes distance is your strongest statement. Sometimes absence is the best lesson, because when you stop being too available, the wrong ones will fade and the right ones will stay. The wrong ones will be confused by your peace, but the right ones will be inspired by it. The wrong ones will chase your attention, but the right ones will respect your time. And that's how you separate temporary attention from lasting intention. You are not losing anything by stepping back. You are gaining clarity. You are not being mean by creating space. You are being wise. You are not being distant. You are being dignified. Every time you withhold access from those who don't deserve it, you remind yourself that your energy is sacred. Your presence is precious. Your value doesn't decrease just because you decided to protect it. Availability may make you feel wanted, but boundaries make you feel worthy. And there's a difference. So stop teaching people that your world revolves around them. Stop apologizing for being busy with your dreams. Stop explaining why you didn't reply right away. Start living in a way that reminds everyone, including yourself, that your attention is earned, not owed. That your presence is a privilege, not a possession. That your love is powerful, but not for sale. When you master the art of being selectively available, you master the art of peace, respect, and true attraction. And that's the moment you realize your value was never in how much you gave, but in how much you protected. Your mystery is not distance, it's dignity. Your silence is not rejection, it's reflection. Your time is not endless, it's divine. And the more you honor that, the more the world will too.